Hey, it's day 5 of a series I'm doing where I'm inviting you to read John with me to start 2026. How this series works is each day we'll read a chapter of John, and each day I'll post a video sharing what I liked and what stood out to me about the chapter for that day. And if you're reading John with me, I'd love for you to share what you liked and what stood out to you as well. You can let me know in the comments, and it can be like our own little Bible study to start the year. So if you haven't joined, I'd love for you to join us in reading John. Today's day 5, so that means we read chapter 5 of John today. Here is what I liked and what stood out to me about it. Today, what I really liked is reading about Jesus' heart posture, and about how everything he does is from the Father and for the Father, which is God. As Jesus says in verses 19 and 20, Jesus gave them this answer: "Very truly I tell you, the Son can do nothing by himself. He can only do what he sees his Father doing. Because whatever the Father does, the Son also does. For the Father loves the Son and shows him all he does. Yes, and he will show him even greater works than these, so that you will be amazed." And so we see that Jesus is so close with God, that everything he does comes from God. And then I love what Jesus says in verse 30. "By myself I can do nothing. I judge only as I hear, and my judgment is just. For I seek not to please myself, but him who sent me." I love those words from Jesus. For I seek not to please myself, but him who sent me. I love that Jesus' posture is to please God above all else. And I want to work on that and make that something that's true in my life, that I also seek to please God above myself. And the last thing I liked is how Jesus doesn't just seek God above himself, but he also seeks glory from God rather than glory from others. As he says in verse 41, "I do not accept glory from human beings." And this is contrary to how the religious leaders lived at the time, who loved getting glory from others. Jesus says when talking to them in verse 44, "How can you believe since you accept glory from one another, but do not seek the glory that comes from the only God?" And while it's definitely better to seek the glory that comes from God rather than the glory that comes from others, it's very easy and natural to want glory from others, to want approval from others, and to have that be what we focus on getting. And so I really like these focuses and perspectives from Jesus, that he desires to please God rather than himself, and that he desires God's glory rather than glory from others. Everything that he does is from the Father and for the Father. And so this is the perspective I want to have and something I want to work on putting into practice. And this is what I liked about today's chapter. Like I said before, if you read chapter 5 today, I'd love to know what you liked about it and what stood out to you. You can let me know in the comments. And if today is your first day watching, I'd love for you to join us in reading the rest of John. Let's keep a daily Bible reading habit together to start the year off strong. Thanks for joining me for day 5 today. Come back tomorrow for day 6, where we'll look at chapter 6 of John.